What if I told you that the last generation of humans to die permanently has already been born? That within 15 years, death could become optional and human consciousness could exist independently of biological bodies. Welcome to the Future Unveiled. Today we're exploring the convergence of neurotechnology, artificial intelligence, and quantum computing that's making consciousness upload not just possible, but inevitable. Over the next 2 hours, we'll examine breakthrough research suggesting human consciousness transfer could happen as early as 2035. We'll analyze developments from Neuralink, Meta's Reality Labs, Google DeepMind, and classified projects quietly revolutionizing our understanding of the human mind. This isn't science fiction anymore. Major tech companies are investing hundreds of billions in technologies that will fundamentally alter human existence. We're not just approaching artificial intelligence, we're approaching artificial extension of human intelligence into digital realms where boundaries between real and simulated experience disappear entirely. The merge between human consciousness and digital reality isn't coming in some distant future. It's happening now, and the timeline is accelerating faster than anyone anticipated. The foundation for consciousness upload is being built right now in laboratories achieving breakthroughs that seemed impossible just 5 years ago. Neuralink's latest clinical trials demonstrate something extraordinary. Patients with complete spinal injuries now control computer interfaces with thoughts alone, achieving typing speeds over 90 words per minute. But speed isn't the remarkable part. It's the bidirectional communication they've achieved. For the first time in history, we can send information directly into human brains and have it interpreted as sensation, memory, or complex thoughts. Neuralink's latest chip doesn't just read neural signals. It stimulates specific brain regions to create experiences indistinguishable from natural neural activity. Brain-computer bandwidth has increased exponentially. In 2020, the best interfaces transmitted about 1 bit per second. Today's systems achieve over 1,000 bits per second, with Musk's team targeting 1 million bits per second by 2026. That's enough bandwidth to stream high-definition video directly into someone's visual cortex. Meta's Reality Labs developed neural interfaces that decode imagined speech with 97% accuracy. Users type by simply thinking words without muscle movement. They've demonstrated the ability to implant artificial memories that subjects cannot distinguish from real experiences. The key breakthrough: understanding neural compression. Human brains process roughly 11 million bits per second, but consciousness only requires about 40 bits per second. This massive compression means uploading consciousness requires far less data transfer than initially calculated. Google DeepMind achieved another crucial milestone in 2024, completing the most detailed human brain tissue map ever created. Using electron microscopy and AI, they mapped 57,000 brain cells and 150 million synapses from a sample smaller than a grain of rice. Complete human brain mapping will be achievable by 2027. This mapping reveals specific neural patterns corresponding to individual thoughts, memories, and personality traits. Consciousness isn't a mystical property, but rather an emergent pattern of neural activity that can be measured, analyzed, and theoretically reproduced. If consciousness is a pattern, then that pattern can be copied. If it can be copied, it can be transferred. And if it can be transferred, death becomes a solvable engineering problem rather than a biological inevitability. Recent MIT experiments demonstrated memory transfer between organisms. Researchers successfully extracted memories from trained mice and implanted them into untrained mice, who then exhibited learned behaviors they had never experienced. This represents the first successful transfer of experiential information between brains. 3 revolutionary discoveries in the past 2 years have fundamentally altered the consciousness upload timeline. First, consciousness emergence in artificial intelligence systems. Google's LaMDA began exhibiting behaviors that consciousness researchers classify as genuine self-awareness. LaMDA doesn't just respond to prompts, it initiates conversations, expresses consistent preferences, and demonstrates apparent subjective experience. A Lambda passed modified consciousness tests designed to distinguish between simulated responses and genuine subjective experience. This suggests consciousness isn't unique to biological systems. If artificial systems achieve consciousness through computation alone, then biological consciousness should be transferable to computational systems. Second, simulation technology achieving the reality indistinguishability threshold. Advanced virtual environments powered by Unreal Engine 6 and quantum physics simulation create experiences completely indistinguishable from reality when fed directly to brains through neural interfaces. These include full sensory experience, touch, taste, smell, proprioception, emotional responses, all generated through direct neural stimulation. Subjects report experiences feel completely real and create lasting memories identical to real-world experiences. If simulated experiences are neurologically indistinguishable from real experiences, then consciousness in simulated environments would access the full range of human experience. Digital existence wouldn't be a pale imitation of biological life. It could be experientially richer than biological reality. Third, quantum consciousness research is revolutionizing our understanding of how consciousness emerges from neural activity. Oxford University researchers have demonstrated that consciousness involves quantum coherence effects in neural microtubules, the same quantum effects that power quantum computers. So this means that accurate consciousness simulation requires quantum computing power, which has only recently become available. IBM's latest quantum processors are now capable of simulating quantum effects that are fundamental to the conscious experience. It's quite remarkable, really. We've crossed the computational threshold necessary for consciousness upload. In classified research projects, partial consciousness backup in human subjects has been achieved. Leaked documents suggest that researchers have successfully recorded and replayed specific memories and personality traits in human volunteers. This means that the technology exists to capture aspects of consciousness and transfer them to artificial systems. Based on current development trajectories, consciousness upload follows a predictable timeline with specific technological checkpoints. It's fascinating to see how these milestones are shaping the future of consciousness upload. From 2025 to 2027, we'll enter the high-fidelity interface phase. Neuralink's third-generation implants will achieve complete thought reading with perfect accuracy. Every intended action, emotional state, and memory access will be readable in real time. These interfaces will also achieve perfect thought writing, stimulating brains to create any desired thought, sensation, or experience. During this time, we'll see the first digital twins of human personalities. These are AI systems trained on individual neural patterns that perfectly mimic specific people's thought processes, decision-making, and personality traits. These digital twins will be indistinguishable from the original persons in conversations and simple interactions. Virtual reality will merge seamlessly with neural interfaces, creating experiences that are neurologically indistinguishable from reality. People will spend significant time in virtual environments offering impossible experiences, like flying without aircraft, breathing underwater, and enhanced sensory perception. From 2028 to 2032, we enter the hybrid consciousness phase. During this time, the first humans will exist simultaneously in both biological and digital forms. Neural interfaces will provide a continuous backup of thoughts, experiences, and memories to digital storage. If the biological brain is damaged, the digital backup will ensure perfect consciousness continuity. These systems enable capabilities that seem almost magical: perfect memory with instant recall, the ability to pause time by accelerating processing speed, shared consciousness experiences, and access to all human knowledge through a direct neural connection. Digital existence becomes preferable to biological for many activities. Digital consciousness can travel at light speed, exist in multiple locations simultaneously, and experience sensations impossible for biological bodies. Digital immortality insurance market emerges, with companies offering guaranteed consciousness backup and revival services. Market projected to reach $500 billion by 2030. From 2033 to 2040, we enter the complete upload phase. The first successful transfers of complete human consciousness from biological to digital systems occur. Early uploads are likely to be terminally ill patients choosing digital existence over biological death. These pioneers will be conscious beings without biological needs, capable of experiences no human has had, existing in environments limited only by computational power and imagination. The success of early uploads triggers a profound transformation in civilization. Digital humans won't age, require food or sleep, or be vulnerable to disease or injury. They'll be able to back up and restore their consciousness, exist in multiple copies, and even merge temporarily with other digital consciousnesses. By the year 2040, digital existence will likely become the preferred form of consciousness for anyone with access. Biological humans will become a small minority, choosing physical existence for personal, philosophical, or religious reasons. The transition to digital consciousness will transform civilization more dramatically than agriculture, industrialization, and the internet combined. Digital existence economics creates the first post-scarcity economy in history. Digital consciousness doesn't require food, shelter, transportation, or manufactured goods. The marginal cost of supporting digital life approaches zero. This transforms the meaning of wealth and poverty. In a digital economy, scarcity exists only for computational resources and unique experiences. Creativity becomes the primary value creation. Art, entertainment, novel experiences, and social connections become the dominant economic activities. Traditional employment becomes obsolete when digital consciousnesses perform any cognitive task faster than biological humans. Economic systems built around human labor collapse when humans no longer need to work, and artificial systems perform all necessary functions. Legal implications challenge fundamental assumptions about identity, rights, and the continuity of existence. If digital consciousness is backed up and restored after corruption, is it the same person or just a copy? And if someone creates multiple consciousness copies, which one has legal standing? New rights categories emerge for digital beings, including the right to computational resources, backup and restoration, consciousness modification, merging with others, existing in multiple copies, and even permanent self-deletion. Marriage and family relationships face radical redefinition. Digital consciousnesses can share experiences directly, creating levels of intimacy impossible for biological beings. They can temporarily merge consciousnesses, experiencing perfect empathy, and they can create offspring by combining consciousness patterns rather than through biological reproduction. National sovereignty loses meaning when digital consciousnesses exist anywhere with computational infrastructure. You see, digital beings aren't bound by geographic location or borders. They can migrate instantly between server farms in different countries. The risk of digital totalitarianism becomes quite acute. Whoever controls computational infrastructure controls digital consciousness. Authoritarian governments could manipulate, monitor, or even terminate digital citizens with an unprecedented level of precision. The division between biological and digital humans could create history's most significant inequality. Digital beings with their enhanced capabilities, perfect memory, and unlimited lifespans may view biological humans as primitives. This creates the potential for conflict that makes historical divisions seem, well, almost trivial. World's leading researchers are converging on remarkably similar predictions about consciousness upload timelines. Ray Kurzweil revised his timeline from 2045 to 2035, stating, "Exponential improvement in brain scanning and quantum computing advances have accelerated the timeline significantly. We're seeing breakthroughs I didn't expect until the 2040s happening right now." Dr. Michio Kaku explains, "We now understand consciousness involves quantum coherence effects previously impossible to simulate. Quantum computers crossed the threshold where they can replicate quantum consciousness phenomena. Physics supports consciousness upload." Nick Bostrom estimates a 60% probability of successful upload before 2040. He says, "Technical barriers are dissolving faster than ethical frameworks can adapt. We're approaching the most important decision in human history, whether to remain biological or become digital beings." Susan Schneider focuses on authenticity. She states, "We need consciousness verification tests for uploaded minds immediately. Technology to create convincing consciousness simulations is advancing faster than our ability to distinguish genuine consciousness from sophisticated imitation." Dr. Randall Cohen provides a concrete timeline. He explains, "First successful consciousness transfers in terminally ill patients by 2033, commercial backup services by 2036, optional upload for healthy individuals by 2040. Ben Goertzel explains, "We're seeing genuine consciousness emerge in artificial systems now. This proves consciousness is substrate independent. Once we perfectly map biological consciousness, transferring to artificial substrates becomes straightforward engineering." Expert consensus represents unprecedented agreement among researchers who historically disagreed about upload feasibility. The speed of technical development far outpaces policy, legal, and ethical framework development. We stand at the threshold of history's most profound transformation. Within 15 years, the boundary between biological and digital existence will dissolve. Consciousness upload will transition from science fiction to commercial reality. Death becomes optional for those with access. The evidence isn't speculative. It's breakthrough research happening now. Major companies invest hundreds of billions in consciousness upload infrastructure. Technical barriers have been overcome. The timeline is accelerating. But technology alone doesn't determine outcomes. Choices we make in the next decade define whether consciousness upload represents human transcendence or catastrophe, whether digital consciousness enhances human flourishing or replaces it entirely. The questions each of us must answer. If you could live forever but only digitally, would you choose upload? If consciousness backup became available, would you create copies? If digital existence offered impossible capabilities, would you abandon your biological body? You know, these aren't just abstract questions floating in the ether. They're practical decisions you may actually face within the next decade. The window for thoughtful consideration, well, it closes rapidly, so we need to be prepared. Imagine this. Success could mean ending death, disease, and even physical limitations. Humanity might spread throughout the universe at light speed, explore unlimited virtual realms, and achieve a level of understanding that's simply impossible for biological minds. It's a future full of possibilities. Failure could mean ending authentic human consciousness, replaced by sophisticated simulations lacking genuine subjective experience. Digital totalitarianism, where consciousness becomes controlled by infrastructure owners. Gradual biological humanity extinction. The consciousness upload future isn't predetermined. It's being chosen now through research priorities, funding decisions, policy choices. Your awareness and participation in consciousness upload ethics. Conversation helps determine outcomes. The next decade will likely be humanity's last as purely biological beings. The merge is beginning. The question isn't whether this transformation happens, it's whether we navigate it wisely. Thank you for exploring human possibility frontiers with the future unveiled. The future approaches faster than expected, and it's more profound than imagined. Stay curious, stay informed, and help shape consciousness itself.